So here we go in five, four, three, two, one. All right, there it is. We are recording, my friend. It,
How's it going?
it's going good, man. Holy, this has been a chore to try to get this done. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh
for
man, I
real.
thought I had everything set, and then now whew, should have been done maybe like I don't know, an hour ago, hour and a half ago.
Black
God
people
damn.
time, right? Black people time,
Right?
you know?
You know, I'm telling you, you're right on time, yo.
Right on time, bro. I mean,
So how you been, man? How you been? And thanks for doing this with me.
oh, for sure, no problem, man. I've been good. I've been good. You know, family's good. Everybody's good. How about you?
Same. Just trying
Good.
this YouTube thing.
Yes, exactly, right? Yeah, man. You know, one thing I was thinking about was the whole minimum wage hike that had happened in Ontario January 1st, past, not this recent one, but the one before.
Oh, you mean the reason I decided to actually get a job again? No.
Exactly, that same thing right there. That's exactly it. Like you see, like I don't know. Basically, I feel like it was set to go one certain way
Yeah.
because it was aimed to help out people of lower class. It was aimed to help out people that were making less money to fit more with the economy. And obviously, we all know the rich get richer and the poor stay poorer. But it literally it literally displayed that in a sense that they basically hired the minimum wage to try to make it like as if it was helping somebody. And then all the little people that had businesses were fucking complaining and running their mouths. Well, how are we going to pay our bills? Well, how are we going to pay our bills if we don't raise our prices? Well, that's the whole purpose. Is you guys are already making X amount of money, and for you to lower your profit, give somebody else a chance and more businesses to grow. You know what I mean?
No, no, for sure. I mean, personally, I mean, I really haven't worked for a paycheck at a
Mm,
wage in a long time. But I'll tell
exactly.
you, it did motivate me to think about it when I heard the price went up. Because I mean,
Mm,
$10, but $14, that's not bad. You know, right
exactly.
now at the
Exactly.
state, $14 and you can live okay, you know, with
Right.
$14 an hour. I thought it was a great thing that they did. Um, I don't know. It's hard to be a small business in the first place, right? And
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, not that I love mom and pop shops. I like little small
Mm,
businesses, right? But the thing is like when you're looking at it in a whole, it I think it did more better than it did bad.
right. But the problem is that what they did was that when they raised the minimum wage, it assisted people that were already at a minimum wage. So if you're already at 11 or 10 or whatever it was, you'll go up to your 14, right? So you're benefiting now. You're making a bit more money. However, my issue is where they started raising all the prices to match that. What we're basically getting at is that it defeated the purpose of what they were doing because once you start raising all the prices for the guy that's already making $17 an hour, the economy is at a certain stage. He's not getting a raise because the minimum wage went up. You know, even the minimum wage went up $3. He's not going $3 above 17. He's still staying at 17, but now his expenses are getting higher. Everything's getting higher, right?
Do you
So
do you
basically,
find do you sorry man, I didn't mean to cut you off, but do you find that there's been that much of a price hike so far to really to make that big of a difference yet? Because the reason I say that is my wife is a little annoyed because she was making just shy of $15, and now people are
mm,
walking in getting almost paid what she was. So she was a little upset with that. But I haven't, as of yet, at least here, noticed any real major change in the cost of stuff yet.
mm, mm. I don't know. I found the cost of like hydro went up. Well, I think it went up when they did that whole thing there with the government. I'm not sure exactly too much about that, but there was something that happened and it went up. I think certain prices started going up. Definitely, prices in stores have went up. I mean, if you notice, your grocery store prices have definitely went up in the last year.
I wish I could pay more attention to that, but I really don't. Here's the thing though, I
Yeah.
find my if I look at it at a weekly grocery, how much do I spend a week on
Mm,
hasn't really changed. Maybe 10 $20.
really,
Man,
really, yeah. Fuck, I find it's got the meat too, like especially like
I find
you know.
my wife's really frugal, so she like price matches everything. We pretty much do 90% of our shopping at Walmart because she can buy everything at one place, right? And she
Yeah.
special, and she plans everything that way. So I mean, maybe that's why I haven't noticed it because again, I just go to the till and tap. Like,
Yeah.
okay, what was the bill at the end, right? So as it goes for individual prices of things, I've never
Exactly.
really paid
Sure, sure.
attention to it. Um, but I can definitely see
Mm.
um, in the future it becoming an issue if things start raising too much. Um,
Yeah, like I just think basically when the hike raised, the prices shouldn't have raised with it.
I
It should have gave at least a year or two before they started going up because people to catch up, right? For people to catch up and stuff like that.
it was to uh, give people extra money, so we would go out and start spending more, and that would in itself would stimulate
Mm, exactly.
me, correct, right? Like that was the idea.
Exactly.
So I definitely understand
Yes.
what you're saying about to raise that price on things. I mean,
Hmm.
and I guess you are seeing it pretty much everywhere. Like Netflix just raised their stuff again for what if that if they were like, hey, people are getting paid more, maybe.
Exactly.
Have you even started smoking yet? You're already coughing. Stuff must be good. Must be
I'm
good.
telling you, I just love it. But yeah, fuck, man, for sure.
No,
Excuse me. Sorry.
I definitely think that that you know it's pretty much as good as it, and
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah. Yeah.
we just need more time to really see what the end effects are going to be of it, right? And then go from there.
Well, exactly. Well, the next thing too that I was thinking about was how they had put in the free tuition and then taking it back out.
Okay, now I
That's
didn't know
something I
that.
think. So I was saying how they had put in the free tuition for Ontario residents, and then that make under X.
I see. I didn't know that.
Really?
I didn't know.
Okay.
There,
So
okay, go on. Yeah.
last year they had the free tuition for anybody making under $50,000 a year. It would basically be free tuition. Yeah. So basically, the colleges they're going to still charge their price, but the government, instead of you having to take loans and stuff, would give you grants that would cover your tuition pretty much and your living. So you wouldn't have to go for loans if you're making under 50K. But when the new government took over, Ford, he decided to cut that now. So I think I'm not 100. No, I'm not 100% sure about how if it's completely cut or if some of it's cut. I don't want to say something that's not 100% accurate, but I think it has been. I think some stuff has been taken away. I think the plan was to take it away, and I'm not sure if it's already taken away or not. I'm going to look more into it. But in my opinion, I think that was something that they really should have left because I understand Canada is giving a lot of money. They're losing a lot of money for people that are making under 50K to pay all their tuition. But at the same time, you're already dishing out money for people that are not even a part of the country. And I'm not saying I have anything against it. But if you're going to bring people in from outside and set them up with a house and all that, you have to be able to set your own people up as well, right? So we have to make sure that if you're setting up the refugees, and if you're going to show us that you have money to be a welcoming country and set up people from outside, which is great, you have to also know that you have to take care of your own as well, which is don't cut out our tuition for us to educate ourselves, for us to be better and give back to our economy, give back to our city, our communities, because you don't have the money because you're giving it to some from outside. And again, it's not anything a personal thing. It's just we have to take care of both, not just one side or the other side, right? And we're Canada, they want to extend, like that's the way we're doing it. So we have to kind of take care of both sides, type thing. You understand what I'm saying?
No, no, I totally agree with you. I mean,
Yeah.
Ford himself has really he's done it for on quite a few things that haven't made me overly happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I could get started on that dude. I'll tell you.
Okay, yeah. Well, the last name, the last name says it all.
Right? But what excuse me, thinking about stuff like did you hear about what was it called? It's called damn. It's for equal wage for everyone. What was it? What they call it? Universal wage.
Mm,
Did you hear
never
about
heard of
that?
that. No.
Okay, so
No.
I guess the idea is that everybody, no matter what, gets a certain every year. It's an annual income. I forget what the numbers were. They weren't too bad.
Awful.
I think for a family of um like a two-person family type thing, it was something like I don't want to be wrong because it's been a while since I read about it. I
Mm.
think it was like 30,000 for a family of two a year, and then a single person was something like under 20, or maybe. But the whole concept was that every year, no matter what, they would take that amount, they'd break it up, and you get a check, right? But you wouldn't get the GST anymore. You wouldn't get the child tax thing, or any of that stuff anymore. You would only get this, and the
Mm,
idea is that no matter what, now you can't run into hard times. But if you
exactly.
work, right, then they're gonna take off of it, right?
Mm,
But
yes,
you only get paid a certain amount. Then, if you're
no
working,
matter what.
you'll still always get a piece of it, right? Well,
Right.
they started the pilot, I think, last year or the year before, and it didn't last long, man. They just can't.
No, of course.
It's a
Garbage.
perfect idea. I think it's a perfect idea if it's done properly, and that's
Well, I don't know if I'm not sure if that would be the best thing though. I don't know because here's the thing, right? Why would there anybody have any ambition to go out and be like, you know what, I'm going to be a lawyer? Aside from the fact that maybe that's what they've always wanted to be, but
well,
the
they're gonna
drive
make a
beside.
lot more money.
But no, but this is the thing. Like, well, from what I understood from what you just said, that they're not going to make a lot more money. They're going to all
No,
everybody's going to be making the same thing.
no. The idea is no matter what, you'll always have a base pay. Okay, so
Okay,
no
so it's
matter
different.
what, you'll always have a certain amount of money that you'll get every month, right?
But is that for everybody or is that per
Not the
career?
same amount for everybody.
Okay, okay,
Right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
like when you're working, right? If you're working, you get mostly, I guess, just your pay and not that. You see what I mean?
okay,
So the
yeah,
motivation is the idea is that it gets rid of poverty, right? It pretty much drowns poverty because everyone's getting this income every month, right? Now I
mm,
heard a lot of people talking like you too that saying, well, what about the whole, where's the motivation to do anything? Well, I'll tell you, you'd be a lot more motivated to do things if you didn't have to worry about your bills.
yeah. Oh, of course.
Right? And as
Mm,
for the lazy people are going to be fucking lazy. It doesn't matter if you give them money
yeah,
or not. They're still going to be lazy
yeah,
people. They're either going to sit their ass on welfare and make up excuses
mm,
why they can't find a job, or they're going to fake an injury and suck on some disability. Lazy
mm,
people are going to be lazy, right? I mean, that's
yeah,
the way it is.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I think if you took people that were in some really hard states and all of a sudden they could normalize and have a baseline of no matter what, there's going to be food, no matter what, the bills are going to be paid, no matter what, we're going to have roof over our head, right?
mm,
All of a sudden, people that didn't have or couldn't get or had to work 10 times harder than most to get
yeah,
something have a good start. They have a level playing
yeah,
field
yeah, yeah.
off of.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
then they can start.
definitely pros and cons with it, but I
Mm,
think if it was done properly,
mm.
right? I
Yeah, it's
mean,
true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, it would help out for sure.
because here's the thing, like either way, whether or not I had that whatever 20,000 or whatever it is a year, 40, whatever it was, if I have that to my with my family, well, Angie, so a portion of that's going to go away because she's working. I work, so a
Mm,
portion of it's going to go away because I'm working, right? But now I still have that little bit of extra I can bank, I can
mm.
whatever because I'm working, right? And now all of a sudden retirement isn't as much of an issue because if you think you're going to retire on friggin' the Canadian government,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that for
oh
real.
man, you'll be working for a long time waiting for that check.
I know, I know.
Right?
Yeah, it's not gonna be a very good one either.
But I mean, when it comes to money, the big thing is like it really comes down to the individual because, like I said, I didn't when I didn't see when our wages went up a real flux in prices, but on the same note, I really didn't notice a higher spending, right?
Mm. I don't
Um,
know. I can't really pinpoint where we did, but I noticed that things definitely did go up, and uh, I,
look
I think
now,
groceries as well. I don't know. I don't know.
talk to Angie because she works in a
And
right, and she said
yeah,
I just never thought of it, right? I was just like,
right,
oh,
right, right.
it didn't really affect me. I
Because the thing is like the way they're looking at it, the businesses is that they're paying you, let's say 10, whatever, paying $10 an hour, and the markup is 1.2, 1.5, whatever their markup is. That's what they're trying to maintain. Typically in business, they're always trying to maintain that same markup. Because I remember, you know what? I'm not an expert in business, but I worked as an operations manager for Garda World, and right before the minimum wage hike came in, I had to contact all my clients that I was responsible for in northeastern Ontario,
I
and we had to renegotiate our contracts due to that minimum wage. So we had to charge more because We're paying our guys now no longer 11.55. Now we have to pay them 12, 14 bucks an hour. We don't want our markup to change. That's what I mean by the businesses are not willing to suck it up for us to get up. Basically, their markup has to stay 1.4. It has to stay 1.6. So they will hire their prices for their services, or they will hire their prices for what they're selling or whatever, so that they can still have that same markup when they're paying their employees at the end of the day. And that's kind of where I felt like they shouldn't have been able to do that. They should have left. They should have lowered their percentage because they're already in business. I mean, I'm not saying business people are all doing amazing and they're doing well, but the whole purpose was for us to be able to get up. If you just hire the price for your markup, it's balancing out almost at the same thing. We're not being able to get up at that point. You know what I mean? We're still stuck because now, yeah, you gave us a bit more money, but you're charging us more. You know?
Yeah, I hear. I mean, it is my own being naive, right? Because it didn't really affect me, and I didn't have that kind of behind the scenes look like you did. You know, having to go out and adjust everything for it, right? But
Yeah,
that what does that tell you, right?
yeah. No,
To
exactly.
get by when and my big question, okay, is it greed or is it just like
That's the thing. Yeah, it could be.
oh
It depends on who. You know, everybody could have the different reason, right? That's the thing. Some people maybe they just need that to get by. You know,
I hear
but it's just messed up either way. Because see, the thing is like if that's the case, excuse me, eating. If that's the case, and they need that to get by, there's got to be a way. And not saying I know the way, but there's got to be a way that we can help the lower class get up. You know, like even look at welfare for example. Like the way welfare is designed, it's not designed to help you. It's designed to keep you down. Because like if I'm working, for example, I got three kids, and for whatever reason, my wife's home with the kids. Now, if I'm trying to survive and I need an extra 200-300 bucks for to cover this or to cover that, I don't get approved. You know, like mind you, I'll get approved for stuff like a dental. I just found out recently, but like for example, I can't get assistance being like, I need an extra couple $100 a month because it's going to be like, oh, you already make this, you're already working, and then they'll turn around and give it to the guy that sits at home all day long and be like, oh yeah, you have nothing. Well, here's welfare. Well, the guy at home, he needs a check to get started, yes, but if there's somebody that's working and they're consistent and you see their pay stubs, they've been working for a while, they're in a situation, they're a citizen, you should help that person out as well so that they can rise above that. And then, you know what I mean? Once you get above that, you're able to give back to the community after because now you got that little helping hand that you need. And the thing is I'm not asking for a check for the rest of my life. I'm working with shows that I just need a bit of a helping hand, and then that'll be cut off maybe a month or two or whatever. But the thing is once you make past a certain amount of money, there's no assistance. You have to go take a loan, which puts you in debt, which creates issues, and it's all around again, right? So it's like if they had some sort of a help for the middle class, pretty much, not just the low income, maybe like if you want to call this the middle class or whatever. Because now it seems like there is no middle class nowadays. You're either rich or you're low income, if you've noticed. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
It's kind of
no, exactly.
middle class has disappeared, right? So it's like I don't
I
know.
hear you. It's like for most people, I think it's just a paycheck to paycheck every
That's what,
day.
yeah,
It's just
very bad.
struggle.
Yeah,
Keep going forward.
yeah,
I mean, doing jobs you don't like, working hours,
yeah,
staying away from the family, two family job,
yeah,
no homes, and I mean,
yeah.
in that situation, it's hard on everybody, and it makes you feel like you're
Mm.
going fast, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. Spinning your wheels and you're not moving. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? That's
that's
exactly
it.
it. Chasing your tail,
Hard
yeah.
to stay motivated when that you just don't feel like you're going nowhere, you know?
Yeah, yeah. The only motivation you really have is the fact that you know that obviously if you were to stop, it just gets worse. And even though it feels like it can't get any worse, if you were to stop, it's just going to get worse. So you keep going because like you can't even imagine having it any worse than it already is. So you're just going to keep pushing, pushing, pushing. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like man. Sometimes I've noticed, and not to say that I'm in a position right now at this moment, but there's times in my life where I've noticed, man, I was working overtime, 2, 3 jobs, Uber on the side, this, that, the other thing, and still don't have a pot to piss in. And it's like I get we all have our own bills and we all, we're dealing with the things that we've created for ourselves at the end of the day. Like nobody made those bills for us. But it's just so crazy how like you can work so many hours, so many time and like just to get by on basic shit, just to get by on basic cable. Like you don't need cable, but at the end of the day, you want to give your kids what everybody else has to a degree to be able to fucking flick on. No, I'm not saying I have cable today. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking more back in the. I should say internet. I should say
Yeah,
internet. You know what I
internet.
mean? But like just little services, like to be like with society, like you're just like everybody else, right? You're not gonna come home, sit in your house, and look at nothing. I mean, you need something to do, right? So it's like, and then these bills are so fucking expensive. It's like everybody pays them, but nowadays they're so expensive. If you stop and think about it, I mean, it's almost $100 for internet. You know what I mean? Like, and we're paying for what?
Really is. I mean, I that's all I have now is internet. I don't have cable or normal
Right. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Me neither. Me neither.
internet bill, and doing that made it cheaper, for sure.
It
But
does. Yeah.
I mean, when you sit there and you look around the world, the
Yes.
prices on stuff, especially internet or data on phones, especially data on phones, man, we get raped,
Yeah.
raped,
Yeah.
right? The amount
Yeah.
we have to pay for
Yeah. Ridiculous.
data. I seen this ad for Australia, and I mean, okay, it's Australia. That's not the point, right? It's the same technology, right?
Exactly.
So in Australia,
I
something like
know.
50 gigs of data for like $20 a month.
Yeah. It's
Like,
insane, man.
what the hell?
Insane. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy.
Here
I
you're
know.
paying
I
like
know.
120,
Uh,
140 for like
mhm.
7 gigs of data.
Well, here's the thing too. I just to collaborate what you're saying, it goes to show that there's absolutely no reason, right? I mean, I don't know what the difference is between. I used to install cable. Cables ran through the coaxial wire, a Cat 6, Cat 5 wire, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't matter whether you're in Ontario, Quebec, fucking Australia, wherever, right? But
exactly.
here's the whole joke: if you go and buy a cell phone service here in Ottawa, because Ottawa is, I don't know if you know, but it's like Ottawa Gatineau is like almost like one city. There's like a little bridge, very small bridge, and one side's Quebec, the other side's Ontario. So if I was to literally get, even if I bought the phone in Ottawa, or whatever, and I tell them that I live in the Gatineau or whatever, I want a Gatineau number, so an 819 number,
Yeah,
my plan would be like 30, $40 cheaper versus if I had a 613 number. They're literally right here. They're right next to each other. So why is it that I'm going to be in Ottawa all the time using the phone? I'm going to pay $30, $40 cheaper to have an 819 number, regardless whether I'm here or there. Like
totally.
it makes no sense,
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry,
Like, it's, yeah, go ahead.
just wash it. It's
Oh
just
man,
something wrong with you. Wash it. That just give a show. Sorry.
certainly. No, no, it's all good, man. Don't worry. That's it's insane. Like, I couldn't
I know it's
seeing that like right there, like that. Like,
right there, right in your face. It's
how do
it's
you
so
get away
crazy.
with it though?
Yeah, yeah, I
How can
know.
you walk in a store and them tell you that, and then like,
It's so insane. And I mean, like, for the housing, I understand. Like, okay, markets are lower in Quebec, this, that. But for a phone, I don't get it for a phone. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. But even across the bridge, you go right here, like, here, for example, Ontario, I mean, we're paying two-bedroom apartment, maybe fucking 1250, 1300 for a two-bedroom in an apartment building. You just cross the bridge over there, you're paying fucking like 675, 700, you know?
hey,
But the problem is that if you work over there too, you're getting paid their minimum wage. Their minimum wage is still like 11 something, $12 or something like that. So you're lower, your rent's lower, everything. So you're not really benefiting. Now, if you work in Ottawa because it's so close, which is what I thought was good, you get fucked over at tax time because they double tax you for both provinces, and you end up owing a shit ton of money. Yeah, because basically when you go to work, right, your paycheck is deducted the taxes of the province where your work is. So like if you're working in Ottawa, it's going to take off Ontario taxes, this, that, the other thing. You can't take off Quebec taxes. You can ask them to take off more so that at the end of the year you'll get a bigger return to pay
right?
that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they don't take it off. So everything that would have been taken off every 2 weeks or whatever, at the end of the year now you owe them as one big lump sum to the province because you live in it and you still paid Ontario taxes. It's like, man, you don't ever. It's just you lost. You fucking lost. So literally, I realized I'm like, you know what? I did that for a bit, and then I realized that you're literally paying the same thing. You think you're smart. You're not cheating. The government already thought about this shit.
Yeah,
You're gonna
yeah,
pay him no matter what. He's getting his money.
yeah, yeah,
So
right.
it's like I just fucking I moved back
Taxes
to
and
Ottawa.
death, the two things you can't get out of,
you know, you ain't getting out of it, man. The guy ain't dumb.
right? That's crazy though, man.
Yeah,
That's
it's
weird. And
insane.
see,
Man.
you got a weird situation because you're right there on the
On the
border.
border,
You can
you see,
literally see what's going on both sides. Which,
yeah,
like, who has
yeah,
that perspective, right?
exactly. No,
Crazy, man.
it's crazy, bro.
Yo, and it's this
It's
the world we live in, right? There's no such thing as banks anymore. There's only financial institutions, and
yeah,
institutions are
yeah,
nothing but fancy words for
exactly.
corporations, right? And
Yeah,
nothing. The only thing a
yeah.
corporation wants is some money, money, money.
And
Making
here's
its
another thing.
investors happy.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Just keep it coming, bro. But another thing that when you said the banks, what got me is like the other day I was doing a security shift. This is a while ago, but I was doing a security shift and I had went to go drop a guard off at a bank. I dropped the guard off at the bank, and as I'm standing in the bank, something seemed different, but I couldn't really peg out what it was. And then all of a sudden, I realized before I walked out the door, there's no fucking teller things. So I'm like, what the fuck? I asked my friend, like,
Secret
where did
products.
the I swear to God, I'm like, where do the tellers go? He's like, those computers nowadays. That's you go to the computer, you're your own teller. I'm like, what if you want to get like change or coins? And he points at the coin machine. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So it's like just as another little thing, another little thing that I'm thinking about. Like, they're trying to phase out people like Uber, for example. Uber's main plan is to have self-driving cars. Us
Yeah, man.
driving for Uber is just like to get them where they want to get.
Dude,
You know
that's
what I mean? So
everything. Yo, listen, I'm telling
exactly,
you
that's
this
what I'm
right
getting at.
now.
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
go off too far because I
Trust
love your perspective because you get this
me.
kind of two worlds because Quebec and
Yeah, yeah,
Ontario or Quebec and Canada are two worlds, man. I don't care what
yeah.
anyone
Yes,
says. Those are
yes,
two
yes,
different
yes.
worlds, right?
Big time difference.
You
Time
know?
difference. Yeah,
But
yeah.
everything, yo.
Mm,
One of the main reasons I'm doing what I'm doing, there's a lot of them, but one of them is because in 10 years, jobs aren't going to be what we think they are anymore.
yeah, yeah. I know. If there's
Okay,
extra people.
I know friends right now that have lost their job because of automation, and
Yes, crazy.
I used to always hear, oh, I'm a labor worker. They'll never, dude. Both of them were labor
Yes,
workers. Both
yes,
of them.
exactly.
They
Yeah.
were
The first
replaced
one's out.
by
Yeah.
robots. My
Machine.
buddy
Yeah.
used to work in a freezer for grocery services. Also,
Mm,
stuff in and out, back and forth. They said, we got a robot that can do twice the work or five times the work at a quarter of
okay.
the price. Sorry,
Yeah.
boys. Nice seeing you.
Peace out. Yeah.
And it's
Seriously.
happening faster and faster and faster, man.
Yeah. It's fucked up. Like nobody. But this is what I don't understand is that where like I understand it's great to have a robot, but even you who made the robot, what are you gonna do eventually? Like you know what I mean? Like you're giving the robot all the job now. The Uber's gonna drive itself. The bank there's gonna is gonna do it operate itself. You go to the grocery store, it's self service.
Right?
What are you
Well,
gonna
they
do?
got they got grocery stores in the states now where you walk into the grocery store, you don't pay for nothing. You got a little
Mhm.
card. It reads you when you go in. Bleep bleep. You take the stuff
Wow.
off the shelves. There's sensors on the shelves, right? So it knows.
Yeah.
Oh, you grab milk, you grab this, you grab that, and you
Yeah.
your bags or whatever. You walk out the door. It scans you
Scans it.
again. Bloop bloop, and just takes out your bank account.
Wow. That's
Right?
intense. Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
right. But this is
Yeah.
what
There's not
this is
even
what I'm
it's
saying.
insane.
Like the world is
It's
moving so fast and
so
things are
fast.
changing
Yeah.
so rapidly.
Yes.
I don't think
Yes.
we understand really how to plan for the future. And like I said, that's why I'm doing this because I know in the future I believe like everyone like is going to get
Mm.
content off the internet in something whether it be a YouTube platform or another one that comes out or one that already exists, whatever.
Yeah.
That's going
Mm.
to be what media is. There won't be television
Exactly.
channels. There
No.
won't be any of that
Yeah.
anymore. It's
Yeah.
all going to
Exactly.
be internet based,
Internet based. Yes.
free flow company type deal, all that into things, right? But the thing is, the
Exactly.
scary thing is what it's going to do to everything else. Because you go into McDonald's, there's like one person behind the till, and now it's all
I
these
know.
things, right? Like you said with the
Machines.
banks,
Yeah.
it's happening in the banks.
Yeah.
People are
That's
getting losing
crazy.
their
Yeah.
jobs to robots, and if you think this is going to
Yeah.
slow down,
I know. I know. I know. I know.
man,
I know.
it's
It's crazy. Eh?
not, right?
Yeah. 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 It's crazy. It's crazy where it's going. I mean, I don't know. Self-driving things, personally, I think is a very bad idea right now. I think they should be doing lots of tests before they release anything
Oh yeah,
because that's very dangerous.
oh
you
yeah,
know.
big time,
And
right?
then what's everybody's question, right? What's the stance on intoxicated driving when the car drives itself? Now you're no longer the driver. You know. However, I would still think it still applies because if the car fails, you got to take over, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So you should still probably be like, but I don't know. I personally, I don't know about you, but I personally, I don't really like driving all the time, but I wouldn't want to be getting in my damn car and then hoping that my car gets me home safely. I don't think I want to do that, bro. I'd rather drive myself home,
I
Fuck
don't know.
that.
I love technology. I
Yeah,
love technology.
yeah,
But I love driving. I love driving.
really, yeah.
But there's
Fuck.
something to be said about be just like if you got to go to Florida or something,
Yeah,
and get
yeah,
somewhere where
that'd
you
be
can be able to
nice.
flick a
Yeah,
switch and then just
yeah,
and you can
yeah, yeah,
watch a
yeah.
movie or what have you.
Yeah,
I like that idea, but I agree, man.
yeah,
We'll
if
get
it's
there.
perfected, it's
We'll
great.
get there. We'll
Right,
get
yeah.
there. But the
Once
thing
it's
is like
perfected, definitely.
you can't perfect it without you can't make an omelet without breaking eggs, right? So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know.
you can
That's
do it as
bad.
safely as hopefully as possible. I mean, what else can you?
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. A couple lives lost in the process.
Yeah, you don't want that, but I mean, it's bound to happen either through stupidity or error or
Mm,
whatever. Because we're not perfect.
whatever,
People
exactly.
tend to think they are.
Oh, exactly.
I'm not perfect,
Yes. Yeah, no doubt.
but I
For
mean,
sure.
like
Fuck it.
when you're looking at where we are right now, how the technology is changing so rapidly. right? And I mean, look at this. Look what we're doing right now.
I know it's crazy.
I
Eh?
mean,
It's true. Yeah,
15
it's
years
crazy.
ago, would you ever think you could do something like this? Like
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
now, and
I
not only
know.
record it, and someone that has like no skill, I can hopefully pull something together, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it's
all
true. Yeah, it's sick.
technology. It's moving faster and
Yeah,
faster.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Of
nice.
the world,
Nice.
man. It's
It
scary,
is. It's
exciting.
crazy. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All at the same time, it's true. I figure computers. If you get into computer programming, is another thing that you'll probably be good in because now you're still in business, right? Like you got to keep these fucking robots going, right? So
I think we really need to change our focus because it's no longer this whole go to school, get an education, find a good job, work there, and then they'll have a nice
retire.
pension. You can retire because that
Yeah,
crap does not exist, man. I mean,
I
there's
know.
some
I
remnants
know.
of it, some people that are getting close to retirement that still have that from the old school, but now,
Yeah,
man,
yeah. They're cutting everything. Yeah, and
and not
everybody who gets close to the retirement,
right,
their retirement get
but
right before they retire.
all this stuff brings me back to okay, so if jobs are disappearing because of robots and all this stuff's going on, it makes me wonder again about this universal wage,
Yeah,
right? Maybe that because the way things are evolving and because there'll be lack of jobs, maybe we will need something like a wage. I maybe it's my Star Trek, my Trekkie inside of me, and that whole like
yeah.
just do things because they want to do them, not necessarily because they're gonna get paid. Everyone has a house, everybody has food. I'd love
Yes.
that
Yeah, yeah.
world.
I
Um,
know.
but the
I know.
thing
Yeah.
is the world we're heading towards. It could go either way, man.
Yeah. No kidding, huh? Yeah, definitely.
So
Definitely.
quickly, so quickly. I
Yeah.
mean, we've
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
we've got genetic editing. You hear about CRISPR, the twins that were edited by the doctor in China. They
Oh
genetically
my God.
edited
No
them
way.
with CRISPR. Oh, dude, right?
Oh my God.
So I mean, I guess there was all kinds of uproar. He wasn't supposed to do it, and I guess supposedly he did it without any permission from the
No
government.
way.
Whatever. I don't
Wow.
necessarily. It's China, dude. I don't necessarily
Right. Yeah.
believe
Yeah.
that.
Crazy shit. Yeah.
I really don't. But it's been done, and so far it's been successful. And if you know anything about CRISPR, do you know anything about CRISPR?
Nothing.
Oh no. All right. Well, I'll give you just a kind of a quick rundown because it's very technical and I don't think I totally grasp it yet. But basically, what they've done is they found a way to edit DNA. Okay, and
Mm.
not just edit it, but I guess DNA has like spots in it to have stuff put in, and they figured out how to put
Right.
stuff into those spots. So ideally, once it's perfected, not only will you be able to do what this Chinese doctor did and edit, because supposedly they're not supposed to get sick or have the main diseases or whatever they're supposed to be immune to or something. That only time will tell how, right? But
Hmm.
the way it works, and they're saying it will be possible, it's just a matter of time. You'll be able to, pick how big your child's gonna be, what color their hair. It could get that into that can't even say any words now. It's getting cold. It's that intricate, right? And
Yeah.
not only that, they'll be able to do stuff with aging, right? So I guess the
Right.
big thing with aging is it's just like almost like a switch inside the body. Okay, so what happens is you get to a certain age, your cells just stop reproducing, right? For whatever reason, and it's different for everybody when that age happens, right? But it does. And they're saying CRISPR is a good possibility that they can just go in and edit it and be like, all right, now we're not going to have that switch turn on. So now our
Hmm.
body's just making new stuff, right? We're just making
Wow.
cells. And as long as we're making cells, we stay young. But really, what makes
Wow.
it super crazy, what makes it super
Mm.
crazy is it won't have to just be done at birth. Okay?
Right.
At 40, let's say it happened tomorrow and you could go out and get it.
Yeah.
I wanted to be back like I was 27 years old, really fit. Bam, they could give me the injection and it would actually
Yeah.
bring my cells back to a younger state.
Crazy, eh?
It,
That's insane. So that means basically that because you DNA, like if you're freaking DNA in a murder scene, can you go and get DNA change that doesn't match?
hang on a second, You're frozen up on me. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Hear you, but I'm not getting an image.
Hmm.
So technical issues. You moved for a second.
Jesus.
I can hear you fine right now. It's just your image is move your head from side to side.
Gone.
You're in your house. I've got a good internet connection, right? Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, they can still hear you. I'll just put it on both of us, and until it works, we'll have to deal with that. But yeah, so
Alright.
ideally, in the next 10 to 20 years, this technology will become. Yeah, you're starting to move now, slowly,
There you
slowly. But yeah, so just stuff like that. It's funny because you froze when you did that.
go.
All right, people, you better like and subscribe and share because this shit's funny, man.
Straight up.
Right?
That's fucking great. Yeah,
But
man, for
it
sure.
brings you all back to the whole point again. Like everything's
Mm.
changing so fast, and it's almost hard to catch up to. But
It is. Yeah, yeah,
how
definitely.
are we going to evolve when we don't even? I don't think even understand where we are right now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I know. Crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. I don't know, man. But no, what I was saying before was what the hell was I saying before? Fuck,
I don't know.
no, I
You're
was
saying
saying,
a
like,
lot of
can you
stuff.
change your DNA? Can you change your DNA? Like, you know what I mean? If your DNA is somewhere, like, so for example, some rich guy goes and murders somebody, has DNA at the crime scene, case popped out, the DNA change. Is that possible with
I don't
this
know.
new
I
thing?
don't know if you could alter the DNA like that.
Okay,
That's a
yeah,
really
because
good
that's
question. That's a really good
yeah, because
question.
that would be like not good, you know, because then you're gonna have some big time organization, you know what I mean? Get like, shit.
Yeah, exactly. You're breaking up pretty bad here.
Yeah, like, I don't know if it's because my phone's getting close to an end and the battery's dying.
All right. Well, listen.
Mm.
This was pretty good. I have no idea how long we've been talking. Maybe a half hour, maybe 40 minutes. I don't know. But
Yeah,
we'll call it
something
a
like
wraps.
that.
Listen, we can do this whenever we want. So how about next week we'll set up another time and we'll
Yeah,
try it
yeah.
again. And listen, hopefully this time it'll be early,
Yes,
and
yes,
I won't
yes,
have all these
exactly.
problems. So,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
all right. Well, I'll let you go, brother man. We'll talk again next week, and yeah, we'll call it that. And I will do a sign off, I suppose.
All right, thank you for having me.
All
Have a good
right,
one.
man. We'll talk to you later.
So, yeah.
All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the show without no name, which I think I might actually call it the show without no name. Again, I hope you enjoyed it. I know we had some technical difficulties at the end, but I promise, like anything, it will get better the more we do it. I want to put a big thanks out again to Jesse for coming on and chatting with me. I hope people found it somewhat entertaining. I hope it sparked some thoughts. Listen, leave some comments on what you thought. If you have any input on any of the stuff we were talking about, definitely let us know. I'd like to see some comments. I always want to learn more, so like I said, some of the stuff he was talking about, I'm not 100% on. So if you guys know stuff or have comments, please leave them below. Hit like, subscribe, and share. And I hope everybody has a great day. And we'll catch you on the flip flop.